Alright, so here's where we are with our knife. For those of you wondering what that container was that I pulled it out of, that was actually hardwood ash. I use it to anneal the steel. You can use a clay-based cat litter as well. I'll heat it up way above critical, stick it in there, let it cool down slowly. It just makes it easier to drill and everything. So got to try to do that more and more often with my knives because it makes them easier to work on. I'm going to take this sucker right here and I'm going to draw a profile on this, and we're going to grind it to shape and we'll be good to go. So I'll catch you in a second at the grinder. Alright, so here's where we are. I went ahead and cut the extra off there on the bandsaw. Not a whole lot of grinding. So let's get this ground to shape. Alright, so here's where we are. I have used my height gauge to scribe some lines along the edge here, so when I'm grinding my bevels I can keep them even. I've also drawn some lines here on the edge of the knives on the flats to grind up to. So this is when I roughen the bevels, this is as high as I'm going to put them right here for now, pre-heat treat. Then after heat treat I'll grind them up a lot further. Also, I get asked a lot about these holes in the handle, these little divots. I put them in there. It helps lighten it. This knife is pretty thin already, so lightening it is not really a major thing. But it also allows a place for the epoxy to rest. And for those of you that are wondering what this is here, I get asked a lot about what this is. This is a file guide. I bought this one from, I believe it was Texas Knife Supply several years ago. It's been probably close to 4 or 5 years ago now. And I put it through the ringer in terms of working with it. I've done a lot of knives. You see it a lot here on the channel. That's not even counting the knives that I'm making to sell that doesn't ever get shown on YouTube. So really durable. It's got a carbide face, and they're replaceable. If they ever get wore out or something happens with them, they get broke or something, you can order replacements. So that's pretty cool. But yeah, so this is a height gauge. This is a file guide. You can find them. I bought this right here from Grizzly Supply. So yeah. Pretty readily available online. Just type it into Google, you'll be able to find it. So that being said, let's get over to the grinder and get this done. Alright, so everything went through the temper good, as well as the quench, no cracks, no warping. I'm going to go over and clean the flats up on the grinder. I did temper this for two 2-hour cycles at 400 degrees Fahrenheit. I'm also going to scribe the edge here, and that'll give me the final line to grind these bevels up to finish them off. But let's get after it then. Alright, so order of operation here. I'm grinding the flats first so I can lay it on my my granite block over there. When I scribe this edge, I want it to be nice and flat. Alright, if you're wondering what kind of wood this is, it's Bodark, also known as Osage orange. And the pinholes I drilled were 1/8 of an inch. I may have mentioned that already in this video earlier. And this is 1/8 of an inch pin stock. I use a number 30 drill bit from Pop's Knife Supply. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to come in, I'm going to trace around the outside with my pencil here. After that, I'm going to kind of eyeball it here on where I want the front end of the scales to end. I like it around right there. So then we'll pull these out. I'm just going to trace my line down. It's a nice curve at the front. I always write an X on it to make sure I know which side goes towards the knife, so that way when I get it cut out, I don't get confused and put them on backward. And that does make a difference sometimes. So, alright, let's move on and get this cut out. Alright, I got the front ends of these handle scales shaped, and I took them up to a 400 grit, and now it's time to glue all this up. So I'm going to mix some epoxy up and get it glued up, and I'll catch you in a bit when I cut these pins off and shape this handle. Alright, got the handle scales glued on. I'm going to go over to the bandsaw and cut these pins off, then go over to the grinder and start shaping this handle. Alright, and there's how she turned out. Nice little hunting knife. With that being said, I appreciate you watching. Hit that sub button if you would. Ring the notification bell to notify me of this content as it posts. And I'll see you on the next one. Y'all have a good one. Bye-bye.